Hi friends. So just a couple things to catch up on. I went back from spring break. We had a little circle to start our class day, just because I knew they were going to be a little more wound up from spring break and not being here for a week and a half. And so we had like a little circle, and it was a nice time for me to like interact and share with the students, hear some of their personal stories and what they do at home or outside of school, because that's a big part of their life as well. And then also taking the time to connect with them on what I've been doing and stuff like that. And another way I connected, we read a story about like not giving up and keep trying, and like when you keep trying, eventually you can get it. And like not giving up and having that growth mindset. I think we read Franklin Rides a Bike, and Franklin was mad that he couldn't ride it without training wheels or whatever, but he kept trying, and eventually he got it. And so I shared the story of when I was in high school. I wanted really bad to be able to do a backflip, back handspring. I kept trying, couldn't do it. I almost wanted to give up, but eventually I did get it. And so then as a reward for the students, like getting the work done throughout the day, I went around and I shared the video of me actually getting my back handspring. So to show that like if you keep trying and keep pushing, that you can eventually get it, to have that growth mindset and whatnot. And then when we came back from spring break, we also we finished our Stone Fox book study. The kids ended up really liking the story. They didn't like the ending. They thought it was really sad, and whatnot, but that's okay. So we kind of like wrapped that up, and then we did kind of like a summative assessment, where they did like a book review and like final thoughts on the book and whatnot, and we did some activities on that. And then moving on into the last 2 weeks, we have been doing more reading interventions, so trying to do more sight word reading, more we have like short A books or short E books or short I books, just to kind of keep with that reading fluency, to get them up to that second grade level. And so we are starting to implement a couple more assessments, like reading assessments and whatnot, to gauge where the students really are, if they're actually reading and understanding things, and if they're ready to move on to second grade, or if we need to do some more interventions and help support with that. Earth Day is coming up, so we're going to start some Earth Day activities, talking about recycling, reduce, reuse, recycle, saving energy, things that we can do for our planet and whatnot. We're going to do like a little Earth Day book, and it's kind of like an interactive science journal, but everything revolves around the Earth and taking care of it. So we're going to do that. And then I had my last formal observation. So as far as my student teaching class, I'm pretty much done for student teaching until I write my last professional essay and whatnot, and then like the little things that I have to do for my other class, and whatnot. I chose to do a math lesson for my last observation. I've been pushing off math. I did pretty much every other content area except for math, because honestly it's my least favorite subject to teach. It's when I start to lose the students, when they're less engaged, because of the time of the day, and just because it's math. It's hard to make it fun and whatnot, and I try to use the workbook and try to make it more engaging, hands-on, and whatnot. But we made it, it was focusing more on problem-solving strategies and guess, check, and revise, and focusing on story problems, because we've been working on adding and subtracting with 2-digit numbers. So that was interesting. And then it's just starting to wind down, starting to loosen the reins, a little bit, pass on the torch back to my CT, because I counted, I have 14 school days left with the students. So I had my first interview for a teaching position. I don't think it was one that I really was going for. It was kind of like one of my backups, just to kind of see, but it was nice to have that first interview just to kind of get all the jitters out, you know, and kind of like go through the process of an actual interview and going through those questions and whatnot. I'm preparing. So hopefully I will be sending out some more applications and getting some more interviews, and I will be getting better at that process. And then towards the end of the last week, my roommate ended up testing positive for COVID. So I ended up having to quarantine for a day just because we didn't really know how the guidelines were going to work with that and all that. But since I'm fully vaccinated and I never felt any symptoms, I was good to go. I still got tested and it came back negative and everything, just because I wanted to be safe. And so I will be returning to school with my negative test, and I feel great. Just the last 2-3 weeks, and we're done, we're out. So just kind of learning how to provide that extra support and how to get those interventions started for students that are struggling, whether it's reading, math, whatnot. And yeah, time to figure out if they're ready for second grade. So I will see you guys in my last final reflective journal, and have a great couple weeks. Bye, friends.